Welcome to Rewind Fast Forward with D&D, where David and Dwaine rewind a season, knowing the fast forward.
Welcome. Hello, everybody. My name is Dwaine. Welcome to Rewind Fast Forward with D&D. I am here with my best friend, David. Hello, David.
What's up, buddy?
Oh, not a whole lot.
We have been doing Survivor for what, 10 seasons? We started at 24. We just finished, I don't remember which season.
34?
34? But
we just finished 5 years. Wait, no, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I don't know how many years. It's been that many years.
It's been a lot, yeah.
The intro for this podcast is probably one of my favorite intros with just the little noise that it makes with the tape rewinding back and forward.
I know.
It's so cool.
Do you remember when I first made that and the tape recording backwards was like like 12 seconds?
Yeah, just one direction.
It got really old really quickly.
So that's our new intro. That's like 3 minutes long. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut that down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I love the the music though. In fact, I'm thinking, David, if you like this, that be our music for the entire life of the Rewind Fast Forward podcast.
I mean, the Stranger Things music?
Yeah, it's kind of an homage to our first series that we ever did.
Might depend on the music of the next series, because if we don't like the music of the next series, we might stick with this series.
All right. Well, this is the podcast in which David and I get to talk about any show we want after we've watched all the episodes. We pick a season, we rewind it to the beginning of that season, and we talk about each episode knowing what's on the fast forward. In other words, we get to talk about the entire season as we talk about each episode and how it fits into the arc of the season. By the way, every time I say that, knowing what's on the fast forward, it reminds me of a scene in a movie that I really like. Do you know what it is?
I don't know. You like some really weird movies.
It's a rom-com.
There's a bunch of those. You seem to be a fan of those. Does that have Matthew McConaughey in it?
It does not.
Okay, that cuts down to about half. Let's see.
All right, hold on. It has Tommy Hanks. Tom Hanks.
Oh, we're talking.
If he ever listens to this, he's gonna get us banned from the airwaves.
Are we talking Sleepless in Seattle?
No.
Okay, go ahead.
You've got mail. He stands before. He stands before her, and he goes, "I wonder what it would have been like. You and I would have dated. We wouldn't have argued about these things, and we could have watched movies together for the rest, or as long as we both shall live." So every time I go, I gotta see what I say again. Knowing what's on the fast forward. Okay, everybody's like, get on with it. So
that is a great line from that movie. That's cool.
As you know, but I know, isn't that awesome?
It's a great pickup line for somebody that is sick.
I don't know if it's a great pickup line. Hey, you want to get married?
Well, it got her attention.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Made her wish it was him.
I know. As you know by the title, we are rewinding season 1 of Stranger Things. Tonight we are talking about episode 3. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. Yes. It is entitled Chapter 3, Holly Jolly. Obvious title, right? Because of all the lights, the colored lights.
Yes.
I don't put colored lights up anymore, but they were really popular in the 80s.
There were white lights and colored lights in this. That's true.
By the way, if you listen and enjoy this new podcast, then let other people know about it and subscribe and leave a review or whatever. Seriously though, for a good time, go to REWFF.com.
Did something just pop into our podcast?
I don't know what that was.
I hope we're not paying that person, are we?
It was some local DJ that came in.
Yeah, really.
So anyway, popped up. What? Okay, David, let me get to my notes here because I got something to say. This episode got me yelling and laughing and screaming at the TV, yet cheering at the TV. Not the first time I watched the season, but this time, because I know so much that it makes watching this episode amazing.
this episode is probably my favorite just because of one scene.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why I'm glad we're doing only this one this week, because last week we did 1 and 2.
Oh yeah.
But this one deserves its own episode. It's my favorite episode, without a doubt.
I loved it.
I can't get enough of it.
I loved it from the very beginning, right? So you have total blackness, and as the huge boom, immediate hard cut from black to Barb.
This is how you open up a thriller.
Exactly.
I mean, and there's no hesitation. This is the great thing about Netflix. You don't have to wait a week to find out what happened to Barb. You just click the next episode in 3 seconds button and you go to Barb. And, and we get the breath, the come to life breath.
Yes.
And it's Barb waking up in what I think is our first look at the Upside Down, or what will soon be called the Upside Down.
We saw it a little bit last episode, I thought.
No, we saw the ashes in the lab, but we didn't see the Upside Down. So I think this is the first time we see it.
Okay.
So she was taken from the right side up pool and pushed into the upside down pool.
Right.
So,
and she was like,
"Oh, yeah." We also get a clear look at the monster.
Yes. Oh, okay. So here you go.
Okay.
This is okay. First 2 minutes of the show, and I'm just like going, loving it, right? And my son's sitting right there next to me. I'm like, Joshua, listen to this. All right. So Barb is calling for Nancy, right? She's calling another big boom, and we see the monster. So that's 2 hard cuts with loud music in the first minute of the show.
Right.
All right. So here's the situation. My parents went away on a week's vacation. No, I'm just kidding. Barb is completely scared and confused at the bottom of a creepy pool with a giant slimy monster. Meanwhile, Nancy's a little preoccupied upstairs. As we said, every time we mention Steve and Nancy, I shorten the clip a lot.
I love they have their own theme song.
I know they do. But listen to this. Listen to this, David. I don't know if you caught this, but they keep going back and forth, right?
Right.
You know how in the Star Wars movies, especially whenever George Lucas was doing them, towards the end, they would get closer and closer and closer, right? They go back, right? Right? Remember that?
The microphone's been there for 5 years.
My microphone, dust went everywhere. It's never moved. But so listen to this, all right? Barb is lying at the bottom of the pool. Nancy is lying in the bed. Right? Barb is being eyed by a monster. Nancy is being eyed by Steve.
By a monster. Okay.
Barb tries to claw her way out of the pool. Nancy is being clawed at. Barb grabs the handle at a climactic moment, and Nancy grabs Steve's hand. Barb dies. They don't cut back to Nancy. Slowly, the music fades in, and we're left to imagine the conclusion of the back and forth. But here it is, as you know. I'll just say this. They both lost something, right? Barb lost her life. They both lost something they can't ever get back. I won't say what Nancy lost. If you don't know that, then you probably don't need me to tell you. Do you see what I'm going here?
I do.
Don't even tell me you don't see the correlation.
I see the correlation. I just don't remember that happening on Nancy's side, that it went to that degree.
It's okay. I know it did, because whenever she's at school, she's like, everybody's looking at me, and and the 2 friends are like, I mean, what they were saying she sounded like was not like they just kind of kissed and let it go.
Yeah, you're right.
Right. And then, he's laying in bed kind of asleep, and she's like, Steve, what does that sound like to you?
I'm with you now.
Okay. So now think back on it. Right. The whole correlation of her and Barb. And I'm interested to see, as we go on later in the season, if that continues somehow. I don't know if it will, because Barb's dead, but we'll see. But for now, anyway, Barb dies. This is my favorite part. They both lost something they can never get back.
Nice. How many times did you watch this scene? Did you watch it once and get all that from one time watching through?
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, okay. Once I figured out they were going back and forth, I started looking for it.
Okay.
So I would pause every time I saw one.
Gotcha.
But it was very consistent.
Yeah, we are not the best people to watch these episodes with when we're taking notes.
I told Josh goes, "Hey, what are you watching?" Stranger Things. Oh, cool. I'll come up. Dad?
Is it going to take us 3 hours to get through 45 minutes?
Why are you pausing again? Yeah, but anyway. So
that's cool.
Did
really
you have
good.
anything else to say before the opening credits hit us?
Just that when she screams is when we get Nancy kind of pausing.
Yes, I did notice that.
Yeah, but as she screams again, there's no more pausing.
There is no pause. I noticed that too.
Behind that. And we actually hear the monster sounds like he's chowing down once Barbara's gone. I mean, her scream, you know what? She's probably a great actress, a good actress, whatever, but her screaming frantically was the best acting she's done.
Yeah.
This whole, unfortunately, 3 episodes.
This whole season. Barb, that's the best acting you've done the entire season.
Yeah, all 2.1 seasons, episodes that she's been in.
Yes. In fact, you never act better.
After that, she can't do any better after that.
So as we leave this scene and go to the opening credits. All right, so opening credits, which unlike other popular shows that I will not mention, I actually listened to the entire introduction and don't hit the fast forward button 50 times to finally get to the end of the introduction. Have you noticed that about HBO shows? All of their shows have these 3-4 minute introductions.
Yes.
Of just music and maps.
So it's the 10-second button. Hit.
It's like on You've Got Mail. Yeah. Anyway.
I did write at the end of that scene as the credits were going on, and I was listening as well. I wrote down, now we have a slightly better idea of where Will is, what it's like where Will is hiding.
That's right.
So,
in this episode, I was like, Joshua, see, Will is communicating with his mom. He's like, no, he's not. This episode makes it incredibly clear that she is indeed everything I talked about last episode.
Yeah,
was confirmed by this episode that we already knew about. But I had forgotten about it, David. So
we were so right last week.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm going to make a prediction, and you're going to have to go, Dwayne, that's not what happens. And I'll go, oh, okay, sorry.
There's no episode 9.
That's right. All right, so we come back later that night. And he isn't exactly being a very attentive boyfriend, is he, David?
He is out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she was maybe needing a little more attention. What do you think?
Yeah, I think she was looking for a little bit more support.
Yeah.
I said, don't walk out by yourself. I'll go with you.
Yeah. Do you think she felt a little vulnerable at that time?
Definitely.
Who are you playing with?
I'll stand a mic up on the microphone.
All right, hold on. Let's get your picture up there for everyone to see. Oh, it's little Mikey. Yeah, is he wearing his Puma shoes?
He is. He's got his radio in his backpack.
Awesome. I had those Puma shoes.
Did you? I had some. I think they were maroon color. Stripe on mine.
Maroon. Pfft. Who buys maroon shoes back in the 80s?
Okay. Apparently my parents.
I don't know. All right. So back at home, Mom is really scared. And I'm talking about Nancy's mama.
Yes.
You know? When there's people missing in the neighborhood, it's a small little town like Hawkins, and there's someone missing, and you come in way after your bedtime. Sorry, way after your curfew. And they don't have cell phones. They don't have tracking devices. Of course her mom's freaked out. What do you think?
Especially when you say nothing happened. Yeah. Why not give some? Well, she did give some detail. Everybody wanted to go out to eat, yada, yada. You know, she doesn't explain why she's wet. Her hair's all wet, or she doesn't explain where she got the hoodie. Not yet, anyway.
I think it was just a sweatshirt, wasn't it? And the coat was hers, I thought. I'm probably wrong.
She's got something on that her mom shouldn't recognize. But this is the second time that the mom has said to one of her kids, you can tell me anything. You can talk to me. She already said it to Mike when he was faking being sick. And now she's saying it. Mom cares. Mom is the total opposite of Dad.
Oh, gosh.
This is where I started thinking Dad worked for the government and he knew what was going on and just did not want to interact with the kids.
Yeah.
So,
you know what else about his mom? Her mom, both times that you just mentioned, she knows. She knows something is going on.
Knows there's more. Well, we're parents. We know when there's something more.
And with Nancy, I think she knows.
Well, Nancy's a girl. And if you had any girls, you would also have that sense about things.
Well, I don't know. See, I would hope that my sense would be I'm just too scared. So I think that every time. But her mom knew. Yeah. She knows.
Right.
And especially when she goes, I was cold, so I put on the sweater. And her mom's thinking, really? So where's your shirt?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Moms see everything. Parents see everything. Yes.
And why'd you buy that new brassiere?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, mom knows. Moms are not stupid. And by the way, any kids listening to this, kudos to be able to watch Stranger Things. Way to go. And then also, remember, your parents know what's going on.
All the time.
All the time. Parents do understand. Despite what Will Smith.
And all the kids are going, move on now, please.
Yes, despite what Will Smith thinks. So you're Jonathan, David. What do you think when you wake up to your mom talking to lamps?
Well, my first thought is she's reached him somehow because I hear her talking to him. But then my second thought when she's in a room full of lamps and talking to the lamp. Yeah. Oh, boy. Nobody's going to find Will now but me. Mom is not getting any closer to finding Will. I love how that scene, to me, I know we're laughing, but that scene starts with a swing slightly moving because nothing sounds etchier than a squeaky swing.
Oh, yeah.
And every time now, because this is my fifth time watching this, everything that moves, everything that happens makes a noise, I think about where's Will?
Yeah. Dude, if they put a camera on it, it's important.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And I'm thinking, is Will sitting out there waiting for Jonathan to get up? Or I don't think later on we learned that they can see the other side, but they can hear the other side, right? They can't see the other side. If Will is running around in the house, he can't see.
I don't think he's.
Does he sense her?
I think you're right. He doesn't see her, but he knows where she is.
Yeah.
If there was anybody in our chat room, I'd ask him.
Yeah.
But there's not. Well, I'm there.
Anyway.
But my mom's there, so that's cool. No, it's just you know what? I'm going to try because I'm leaving tomorrow to go to my parents' house with my brother. A road trip with my brother. We're going to be forced to talk more in the next 10 hours than we have in 28 years. Or 48 years. I'm 48 years old.
Is this Zach?
Yeah.
Oh.
What are we going to talk about?
Play a podcast. Listen to something.
Yeah, maybe we'll listen to Stranger Things. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can get mom and dad to watch Stranger Things. See if we can get them to just zone in on it for the whole, a whole night. But anyway, I don't know what we were talking about. So it doesn't help.
We are at the point.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, when Jonathan goes into the room and we can sense Joyce's frustration because we know what she's experienced.
Yes.
And she's like, I know. And he's like, Mom, she's like, I know you think I'm crazy. I know that because I'm your mom, you think I'm crazy, but just watch. Mm-hmm. And a lamp actually flickers.
Yeah. While he's looking at her.
Yeah. But Jonathan's like, Mom, the phone's been burned from electricity. We have electricity problems out here. We live out in the boonies. We live near a lab. They do all kinds of electric things. I mean, there's an explanation for everything, right? There's nothing strange going on here.
Right.
And it's like, oh, poor Joyce. Nobody's listening to it.
It's like, Jonathan, don't you know the name of the show?
Don't you read the opening titles?
Yeah. But see, there's also a part of him that I think he believes his mom because he doesn't think his mom is crazy. I think there's a part of him that believes her, but it's just like, you know what? I can't commit to that because this is just too weird. So I'm going to err on the side of, yeah, right, Mom.
I think there's a part of him that wants to believe her.
Yeah.
That wants something to be proven true. That's what I think it is, even though he knows it's not likely, but right. I wish she was right. I wish it was true.
Right. Of course, she says, Will is talking to me through the lamps. And he's like, Mom, it's electrical problems.
Does the lamp come alive, take on Will's face?
So I got a question for you, David.
Yeah.
At what point, if you're Jonathan, at what point do you believe her? What does it take besides Will actually communicating to you through the lights? At what point do you believe your mom? Or do you? Until you get that same experience.
See, I am close enough to my mom to believe that she has seen something and felt something. Well, and I'm sure Jonathan is too. I mean, she's there for them because he's not living with Lonnie, so she's with her with Joyce all the time, but with me and my mom, and it might be the same for you and your mom. If my mom says she saw a cow in the top of a tree, I would go looking for the tree and the cow. You know, I would tend to believe her. So,
or I go look in her medicine cabinet.
But because of the stress, because of the situation, it's very hard to believe that something's happened when your brother's missing like that.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't want to belabor the point. So now I'm just going to move on to, when does she start not believing herself? But then I remembered later on, it becomes quite obvious. If Will had not continued to try to reach out to her, then she would have had to come to a point where she was just like, okay, this isn't real. But man, no.
But I mean, sleep deprivation will do that to you. You know, all kinds of things physically will do that to you.
Yeah.
Oxycodone will do that to you. I can attest to that.
So Operation Mirkwood.
You don't want to know about my oxycodone trips? Okay.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
That was my pain med after my knee surgery.
Oh, really?
That's good.
Did you do any podcasts while we should have done some podcasts while you were on oxycodone?
Actually, it was when I was asleep. I had I was awake. I was moving around, eating, walking around, running, and I'm not supposed to be doing this with my knee. And I would wake up and I'm lying flat in bed. And it was the most real thing that I've ever felt.
Wow. I need some. No, I don't. No, I don't. Sorry.
Just kidding. You don't send him any. No.
Do not play around with the drugs.
All right. So Operation Mirkwood, as you were just saying,
yes,
finally reveals to us where the title of chapter 2 came from.
Oh, it does?
Because Lucas says, do you seriously think the weirdo knows where Will is?
Okay. What was the title of?
The Weirdo on Maple Street.
Oh, and it was
so. Yeah, so Mike K, our good buddy Encyclopedia Mike, he shared with us almost within 24 hours in email feedback where the title may have come from. Slash Film podcast I listened to, they talked about the Weirdo on Maple Street could be a reference to Nightmare on Elm Street. But more likely, and I agree with Mike, more likely it has to do with the Twilight Zone episode. And Meta History Television talks about that. The episode, the monsters are due on Maple Street. And in fact, the content of the episode loosely parallels monsters in that a small town is suddenly disrupted by an unidentifiable phenomenon, which may or may not have to do with the government, that triggers intense paranoia and horrors of the unknown. So that's the most likely relation that it has as far as titles. But Weirdo, to my knowledge, as I can tell, is referring to Elle. Yeah, Lucas calls her that, right? In fact, he calls her that 2 or 3 times over the next episode.
He does.
Yeah.
Yep. Elle. You know, I still like calling her 11 versus Elle. Elle, you know why? Because Elle sounds too feminine for me.
No.
And right now, she looks like an 11, not an Elle. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I like her as Elle.
Lucas was all his usual. Let's see. Lucas has all. Oh, Lucas brings all the good stuff.
Yes. Do you have a list?
Yeah. Go ahead.
He's got his binoculars from NAM, an army knife also from NAM, a hammer, camouflage bandana, and the wrist rocket. Oh, it's a slingshot. It's not a slingshot. It's a wrist rocket. And if there is a Demogorgon, I'm going to shoot it in the eye and blind it. What do you have?
I have food. Because Dustin, he's like, well, yeah, this is important stuff. What if we get hungry?
And it's a great selection too.
Oh, I know, man. And you just see a can of Pringles and you go,
that can's going away very fast. You got Nutty Bars, you got Bazooka, you got Pez, Smarties, Pringles, Nilla Wafers, Apple Banana, and Trail Mix.
Wow.
We need energy, dude. Stamina.
Yeah. And you didn't even have to pause the show to write all that stuff down, did you? You just remembered it.
I remembered most of it. And then he says, why do we need weapons anyway when we have her? She closed a door with her mind.
It was just a door. and then he said, with her mind.
With her mind. And then he tries to give her another test. He takes the Millennium Falcon, a treasured toy at that time.
Yes.
And holds it up in front of her and releases it. And it falls.
Yeah. And we won't get the payoff yet.
But I love what Mike says. She's not a dog. She doesn't do tricks.
I know. It's great because 11's just sitting there going, I could so show you something right now, boys.
I could twist your head around backwards and I could never know it.
I could fly that Millennium. Is it Millennial or Millennium?
Millennium Falcon.
I could fly that Millennium Falcon all around this room. Make Lucas wish he'd shut up.
I could make real bullets come out of that thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Then after they leave, that's later.
We get Mike. He arranges to meet her at the power lines after school.
Yeah.
3:15 and gives her his watch, which I think to her, almost anything Mike does here lately is personal for her. This stuff doesn't happen for her.
Well, then he's the only one that's doing it.
Yeah, and it's just he's making such an impression on her. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, you've got your three characters there. You've got the negative nanny, Lucas, but also the focused one. He's very focused, right? Yes. He has a reason. It's not like he's just always negative. He just knows this is what we're supposed to be doing. We're not supposed to be sidetracked. Then you have Dustin, who's just kind of like, yeah, okay, we need to do this, but we also need to, kind of have some fun. And he's always in awe of everything around him.
Yeah.
Right? So he sees everything differently. And then you got Mike, who's very compassionate and has a lot of empathy. And until he sees a rubber body floating in the river. Yeah.
Well, that's a good analogy of him, because Mike is, you're right. He's focused. He's believing it. He's into it. And whereas Dustin is the one going back and forth. He says, yeah, you're right, Lucas. Wow, Mike. Yeah, you're right, Lucas. Wow, Mike. Oh, he's totally going back and forth. He's the rubber band.
I've got it. It's all in how they view 11. This is a big for me, and probably everyone else has already figured this out. Lucas sees 11 as a hindrance. Dustin sees 11 as entertainment and awe, and Mike sees 11 as a person.
Interesting.
Oh, thank you. Yes, that's the crowd in the room next to me.
On behalf of the listening world, welcome to our part of the world.
Yes, welcome. Tell me if that was not a very astute and observant. You know what I mean?
It was, for somebody who's only watched it, twice now? 3 times?
Oh, shut up. So you already, why didn't you say that then earlier, bud?
We've covered that in many different ways.
Oh, have we? Okay.
I like you. I wanted to let the creation come out of you.
Are you serious? We've actually said that it's how they view 11.
Not exactly, but that they all see her in different ways. But you did it very well.
Well, see, I got to stop acting like I just came up with things, because that made me look bad.
Especially when we're rewinding to talk about the fast forward.
Well, hey, we're having fun, and that's all I care about.
But somebody could have just watched it for the first time. So
then we're back at school. Let's go ahead and get to school.
The Scarlet Letter. Yeah, she is walking around like she's
she literally feels like, because she knows what she did, and she figures I must look different, and everybody else knows what I did. And she even tells him, I feel like everybody's looking at me. He's like, I didn't tell anybody. Totally doesn't understand women. Of course, he's only 17, 16 years old. So why would he?
This is so neat, because it's her turn to be on the other side of the looks. Usually she hears rumors. Barb tells her things about so-and-so. We saw so-and-so with Steve, or so-and-so with Nick, or whatever his name is. And then now Nancy's on the other side, and she doesn't like it.
No.
She does not like all the stares and all the looks.
No. Well, but they weren't even there. The stares and looks weren't even there, though.
Right. I agree with that.
But she doesn't even like the thought of it. Well, but in her mind, they were there.
Yeah, that's how guilty she felt.
Yeah. Well, that and awkward.
Yeah.
Everybody knows. And of course, he tells her the most obviously stupid male line in the world. Hey, I had a good time. Really? Did you?
She only stopped him from saying, you want to do it again? She just moved on.
That's true.
That was the next line.
Yeah, she's like, I wish I had.
She sits next to Barb's empty chair.
Oh, no. But before that, he points to the butterflies in her. It's like, no more of these, little girl. You're not, because they kind of, the butterflies show like an innocence, and that innocence is gone, much like Barb is dead.
Although the butterfly comes after the caterpillar, so I would have thought she'd have been a butterfly now. No? Okay.
I don't know. Anyway. Like you said, Barb is gone. Where is Barb?
Yep.
Anything else?
Nope, she's gone.
My wife keeps adding stuff to the calendar, and so my phone's going bzz, bzz, bzz. Love it. All right, so we're at the law enforcement lab then. They're trying to get in. Well, law enforcement is at the lab. Sorry.
At the lab.
Law enforcement, I should have figured out what my notes were. It says law enforcement lab. Law enforcement was trying to get into the lab.
Yes. And it's such a big deal that one of them calls it Emerald City.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
But what is interesting is usually I felt like they got past the MP a little too easily.
Well, he did call in and get permission, but Hopper was making a good point. His question was, can you please call your boss? I know the kid's not in there. We know that, but we found something. We just have to come in and follow the steps of procedure. And he said, can you please call your boss? Ask them if we can just come in.
Okay. Well, then if he called his boss, then okay. I was probably typing or something when that happened. But because those MPs, man, they don't get to be MPs for nothing.
Right.
You don't get past an MP unless they want you to get past them.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's about all that was, just getting them in.
Right, that scene.
Then you got 11. Oh, we get another ET moment. Anytime 11's at home by herself or with Mike, it's like an ET moment.
Yeah.
So she's bored. So you want to do the payoff for the?
Well, she's so bored that she levitates the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, just kind of
kind of like, really? That's all he wanted me to do was what to know.
And then she looks. Oh well, it drops.
Yeah, she almost
even set it down.
Yeah, she almost kind of looks around the room before she even drops it. Like, yeah, whatever. Okay, that's not fun anymore. So
yeah, I guess I'll go do this instead. Drop.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like a little kid when they get done with a toy, they just throw it wherever they are instead of putting it up.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody needs to teach 11 some manners.
Well, has she ever played with toys?
That's true. But just like ET, she explores the house by herself.
Yep.
And go ahead.
She goes back to the lazy boy. That was obviously a good thing.
Course. Yeah.
They picks up the phone and listens to the dial tone and mocks it.
Does she mock it or does she
kind of duplicates it? Well, kind of duplicates it. Yeah, like she's singing it back to her. Mock as in copy or mimic.
Okay. So not the negative connotation of mock, but more of.
Is there a mock where she mimics? Is that a mimic and mock? Are they related at all? I should have said mimic. She mimics the tone.
Yeah, just because I thought you meant she was like. Anyway, whatever. She mimics the phone or mocks the phone, whatever.
The look on her face was she was mimicking it. She was copying it.
Yeah, she's copying it, right?
Almost like, is that how we communicate? I make that noise back to you.
To the phone? Oh.
Yeah. I mean, what's a phone?
Do you think she's that far out of it?
See, she's got to have some working knowledge of what's going on in the world, because when she listens when she goes into the Upside Down later, she stands behind a guy.
Yeah. And
she's listening to the conversation and repeating it back. And so she's got to have some working knowledge of things that go on.
I mean, I don't want to.
But she's never seen a TV. Her reaction to the TV is brand new.
Yeah.
Maybe the phone is brand new as well.
I guess for me, I saw it more as her humming with it. Not really mimicking it or trying to. And hey, we just both have our opinion on it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're wrong, because who do I to say that? But to me, it sounded, of course, I'm a musician. That's my job. So for me, I heard it as her humming along, like trying to match the tone rather than like communication or anything like that.
Oh, I heard her. Yeah, I agree with that. But then anyway. she keeps going, goes to the TV, flips through the channel, sees He-Man, Masters of the Universe, sees a couple other things I didn't write down, and then gets to a Coke commercial.
Yes.
And then we get a flashback.
That's right.
She's in a lab. She's in a lab with more wires attached to her than a sleep apnea test. I can tell you that much.
If you ever find a hat like that, don't put it on.
Yeah, really. And Brenner, I didn't catch this the very, very first time I watched it, but I remember like watching it with Bailey, and Brenner is on the other side of the window because of what they're hoping she can do. He doesn't want to be near the Coke can if the Coke can does what he hopes it will do.
Right.
He wants to be safely on the other side of the glass, which is not really that safe when it comes to Elle. She could probably go through the glass too.
But she doesn't really know she has that power yet, you know?
Right. Well, that's just it. They don't know what her power can reach or how far it can go, and she doesn't know that. But when you're opening up something like Elle, you're not sure. So they should have been in hazmat suits. They should have been in another state. They should have been calling it in, saying, "Hey, can you crush the can?"
Do you think they don't know, or do you think they do know, and they're trying to get her to tap into it? Or another option. All right. So one is they don't know. Two is they do know, and they're trying to get her to tap into it. Three is they're pretty sure they know, but they're trying to get her to tap into it to make sure that they're right.
Okay. So this brings up, I'm adding to what you're just saying by saying, why is 11 called 11?
Because she's the 11th kid.
Right. That's what I agree. I'm with you on that. And I haven't read a lot about that. This is something we talked about with Cass too, I think, why she was called 11. So how far did 10 get? Have they seen these powers in 10, 9, and 8? They see, did 10 Siri thinks I'm asking her a question. Sorry.
Hey Siri, did you whoa, hi Siri. Sorry about that. If only everybody came to you as quickly as that. Did
number 7 crush the can, then have a aneurysm or something?
Yeah.
So I'm on one of your choices in that they know about these suspected powers. Mm-hmm. They believe she can do it, but it's how does she physically react to doing it?
Okay.
And to survive the test. I think that's kind of that's why he's behind the wall.
Okay.
Because maybe one kid went to crush the Coke can and instead crushed the table to the floor.
Okay.
Okay.
So basically they know she has it in her. Or they're 90% sure
she's been made to have it in her, yes.
Right, but they're not really sure if she's going to be able to do it right, or if it's, yeah, okay, I see what you mean.
Right.
Yeah, cool.
Well, and see, we don't really know how she got this. We learn later that she was possibly kidnapped from Terry Ives, his mother, that comes up in another episode.
Right.
And so we don't necessarily know. Well, I guess she's been experimented on. That's the only thing I can imagine with electricity or different things, so.
You know what? I have a question for you. Do you think Brenner is her actual papa or just who she grew up with as papa?
I think he told her to call him papa. He calls himself papa.
Okay, because all this time I've been talking about what a horrible dad he is, and if he's not really her dad, then to him
I don't.
She's just a science project.
Right, but it gives her a sense of he's the one I can trust. He's the one I'll talk to. So to have a maternal feeling for someone right there. Obviously, she knows what mother and father are, what papa is. And she was probably told that her mother didn't survive.
Yeah.
So I'm your father, yada, yada type thing. I don't believe he is.
On the next scene, we got Joyce putting up all the lights, and Joshua says, this woman's going crazy. And I said, do you really think she is going crazy? Do you think she's going crazy?
Well, hang on. I want to finish my notes from the other scene.
I'm so sorry, buddy. Go ahead.
No, she does crush the can with her mind because nothing else moves. And she gets her bloody nose. So we know that's kind of the same powers are related to what she's done with the boys. She comes back from the flashback as if she's kind of dazed, almost like she's about to faint. And the TV is fuzzy. It doesn't have the picture anymore. So it's kind of like her thoughts of the flashback possibly triggered something to fuzz the TV type thing. So to me, that told me that she doesn't have control. She doesn't have complete power over her own powers. She doesn't have complete control of it.
I just had an aha moment, a eureka moment.
Please share.
That you are probably going to end up saying, yeah, we've already discussed that.
Okay. Dare you? Well, if you knew the fast forward of this podcast, you would know if I was going to say that.
Dare I say it? The reason why, because we did talk about this last episode, and you did not tell me what I'm about to tell you. So maybe, I'd say stuff like, well, why didn't her nose bleed then? But her nose bleeds then. Okay. It took a ton of her mental energy to crush that can. And so her nose bled, right? She flies the Millennium Falcon around the room. Not a problem at all. No nosebleed because it's not as hard to do it. But what I'm thinking is she gets better and better and better. So when she kills the two guys later on in this episode, her whole face, it almost looks like Barb, that drains so much out of her. But earlier in the season, which was later in her life, when she killed those two guys, just had a little nosebleed. That was it. Stopping the fan, no big deal. Where it used to be, stopping the fan would have caused a nosebleed. So she's getting stronger and stronger in her abilities, and it's causing less and less damage on her physically. That's where I'm going with that. Now,
I thought you were going to say that when she does things in a destructive way, she has the nosebleeds. And when she does things like lift the Millennium Falcon, it's not necessarily a nosebleed. I thought that's where you're going with it.
No, but that's something else to look at.
Because when she levitates Mike off the rock, I'm pretty sure she passes out then too.
Well, then that wouldn't be a negative thing, though.
But that could be the extent of her powers. Her powers are changing. It seems like she's learning more how to use them and what to use them for. But
yeah, I like mine better.
that she's getting stronger, and the more stronger she gets, the less her nose is going to bleed.
I'm sorry, what?
So the stronger she had a nosebleed from a flashback, but she also had a nose and ear bleed from murder.
Yeah.
So
I guess what I'm saying is, at this point in her life, okay, so left to right. If you're not watching this, imagine left to right. She's at this point further left on the scheme on the scale. Doing this action causes a nosebleed. All right.
Crushing the can. Yeah.
Crushing the can. You take her 5 years down the road or 3 months down the road, more like 3 months probably. Crushing the can doesn't give her a nosebleed anymore, but trying to kill a cat does, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I think as she goes along, it takes more and more to make her nosebleed than it did in the past.
Or
that's where I'm going with it.
A new use of her powers, something different. So maybe since she's learned how to crush the can, if she goes to crush another can, it doesn't cause her nose to bleed.
Okay. So then when she kills the guys,
that's a first.
That's the first time. It drained her a lot. The second time,
she didn't kill the cat, right?
Right. She couldn't kill the cat. Oh no,
right.
I think she could have, but
she would not. Right.
You know what? I don't think she would let herself. I think she could have if she had let herself, but I don't think she would have. I don't think she let herself do it.
And she wasn't afraid. I think she was afraid when the two guys were taking her down. She did not want to go back in that place again.
Yeah. But that's what it was. When she's trying to kill a cat, she's like, I don't want to kill this cat. I love kitties. Kitties are cute.
It's not her nature.
I don't want to kill a kitty. Kitties are nice. So she doesn't want to kill the kitty. And so she can't leash in. She can't hone in on that power to kill the kitty because she doesn't want to kill the kitty. Two guys throw her in a room. All that inhibition is gone, and she can throw it all out at them.
Right.
Man, you and I we are exploding this show right now.
Lights are going off everywhere in this room.
Yes. So. In the other room, my dog's nose is bleeding because we are so effective.
So
where are we in the show?
If I had this many Christmas lights, I would be crazy in the first place because I break them on purpose so I don't have to put them up.
Oh, look, honey, this one's not working. I just bought that yesterday. Why are there 5 broken ones on there? Oh.
Hang on. Oh, now it's not working again.
Oh, what happened? Yeah. Psycho Mom is putting up lights. So do you think, I don't want to, well, we're talking about a lot of things for a long time. I don't really know that she's going crazy. I think that she's
not, because she's seen it. She's seen the flickering. She knows what's going on.
But still, I think she is definitely mentally exhausted. She's also physically exhausted. Right. So she's got a lot of stress on her on top of that. So I don't know that she's going crazy. This is what I told Joshua. It's like, I know that my missing son is communicating to me through lights. So I want to put up as many darn lights as I can in my house. Mm-hmm. Because what if this light isn't the light that works? You know, now this, so she's getting a little obsessive, something I know about. She's getting a little obsessive. She's getting as many lights as she can. Now, what's awesome, though, is that Will takes advantage of it. Because now he's got so many lights, he can direct her around the house and ultimately communicate with her, like the guy on Interstellar. No, the Mars movie, which one that was.
Oh, yeah. Mission to Mars.
Yeah, Mission to Mars.
This is neat because there's 2 really strong women in this series. Eventually, we'll learn how that Nancy is a kick butt type person.
Which one's Nancy?
Extremely brave to crawl into a tree with a sucking wound on it.
No, that's extremely stupid. I do not agree with you there.
So she is brave, and Joyce, who I still think is not sleeping at this point, probably not eating.
No.
Is when you get that far into something, you are sucking from your innards for energy and for knowledge and for everything, to the point where you start losing control of other facilities. You don't walk the same way. You might bump into things more. You know, she is drawing so much off this, and it's a determination. It's a mom determination, you know, and it's really cool because we know that she's right. We know that there's something there. Nobody else believes her, but instead of giving up, instead of holding herself up in bed, trying to sleep with medication, she's fighting for Will.
Yeah.
You know, we hear later that she's not going to stop. It's Will.
Okay. Well, you and I have kids. You and I know darn well that if there was any chance at all that we could communicate with our child who is missing, we wouldn't go to sleep either.
No.
And yeah, I would go to the store and demand 40,000 lights and take them home.
Absolutely.
So to the kids out there, because my son is one of them, and he's 20 years old, who feel like Joyce is annoying, you're not a parent.
You're not a parent.
And you're probably saying to me, you think Lucas is annoying when you're not a kid anymore. Maybe you're right. I mean, you are right. I'm not a kid anymore.
Why does that make you a better judge of Lucas? I just see Lucas as a different character.
I do too. Absolutely. But you know how kids are. They're probably like, you just don't understand Lucas because you're old.
You just made a great analogy about what Lucas represents. So that's where you have to look at it from, between Lucas, Dustin, and Mike. So go when we get to the point where you say, here's where he starts annoying me, which is coming up, then we'll
you haven't seen my notes. You don't know that for sure. No, you don't.
I fast forwarded through your notes, so I know what's coming up. But back at the lab,
Joyce
got lights.
Oh yeah.
So Chief Hopper talks to the people, and they I guess they look at the tunnel or wherever the tube came out, but then they go in and look at footage. Because don't you guys have cameras? Yeah, we got cameras. They show them cameras, and this is where we go back to chapter 1 when I say, you know what? He's in a trailer. He's got beer cans everywhere. He sleeps on his sofa, but this guy must be a good sheriff.
Hopper's good.
He must have some deductive categories, and he does. And he picks it up right away as soon as they get outside. You guys know it was raining that night, right? Yeah, we had to call off the search because it rained so much.
Yeah. Even when he's walking down the hall with the security guy, you're like, you know, Hopper, you're asking the right questions, and you're doing it he's asking questions in such a way that he gets the information he wants without directly asking the question.
Right.
And if you don't understand what that means, don't worry about it, because I hardly understand what it means either. But it sure does sound good.
But it's like it took one question,
to
set off Hopper's alarms, and all the other questions were just, footage or just extra fodder to go to this
true.
point.
But I still think he gained something, because he gained something from how the other people react.
Yeah, he gained that they were not going to tell him the truth.
Well, they were obviously hiding something.
Yeah,
and
even before he gets to the video.
Right, and there came a point when they made it very clear to Hopper, you're not getting anything else from us.
Right.
Like I said, it was a long night. Or like I said, we didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Translation, we only fixed 10 minutes of footage.
Right. And it tells them we're not going to show you the truth.
Right.
You can not believe anything we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, let's get out of here.
You know why? You can't handle the truth.
Because they're hiding the truth. Yes.
That's right.
But Hopper could handle it. He
reference to what movie?
A Few Good Men.
So that those who don't know don't think I'm just being weird.
Yes. That was your Jack attack.
Yeah.
So, but he gets out because he's like, you know what? This is like going to a library with no books. We're not going to get anything else from this place. Yeah. We need to get out and find some more information that leads us back to this place.
Right.
And go from there.
And I get the idea that he's got two deputies. One's younger, one's older, right? I don't get a feeling that the younger one really learns from Hopper, but I think, and I don't really feel like Hopper gains anything from him, but the other guy, I don't know what his name is. Do you know what his name is?
I call him, it's not Al, it's something else, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Well, the older one, the darker skinned guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. He seems like it's getting to the point, especially in the whole library thing, where he feels like he can talk back and forth with him a little bit more than the other. Right.
Yeah, he can feed off the other guy. He can get ideas just from talking to somebody.
Right. And he being the other deputy, which I don't know his name, not the stupid one, but the other one.
Phil is the stupid one. I'm gonna tell you the other one's name.
Okay. While he's doing that, my point is that it seems like he at least has somebody with whom he can kind of stimulate those brain cells. Someone with some competency, unlike the other guy, Philarndo. All right. Well, David will find that out. I don't know his name. So, still at the big lab.
Powell is his name.
Powell?
Officer Powell with a P.
Yes, Officer Powell, as in.
You're right. I mean, Phil is there. I think his name's Phil's the other one, and he's there for fodder. He's there as another body. He's there to direct traffic in front of school children, like in Jaws, where they send out the guy that direct traffic, kids crossing the road. But Powell is the one that Hopper uses to bounce ideas off, to talk about. So he would never have taken Phil to the library. He took Powell to the library.
Exactly. Yep.
He'd have left Phil back in the truck. You stay in the truck.
Right.
I'm going in the library without you.
And I'm looking forward to the library scene to talk about that.
Yes.
But now we're still at the lab, and they have the big door to the upside down world, and they are preparing for something in a later episode that is the most stupid idea in the whole entire world. Or one of the most stupid ideas.
Oh, I thought it was later in this one, but it is next episode.
No,
okay.
it's either next or later. I haven't seen episode 4 in about 9 months. So I don't know.
They're bolting.
Did you watch episode 4?
They're dude, this was so good. I had to
you couldn't put it down.
I had to use my lunch for good reason. So, but
really? You got a lot longer lunch than I do.
They're bolting a cable reel to the ground. So something serious is going to happen.
Something seriously stupid is going to happen
in front of the growling gate.
And guess who won't be on the other end of that cable?
Dr. Brenner.
Yeah. You know what? Before we even get to that, next time we talk about this, which will be in about, well, for you who are listening to it, it's going to be a week. For us recording, it's going to be like almost a week and a half or 2 weeks before we get to do this again. I guess a week and a half. But the weakest, I don't care how strong that thing is bolted to the floor. It's only as strong as its weakest link. You know? You're gonna bust it, and you're gonna be eaten by the monster.
Because you know what? You can pull the cable back all you want, but a body with flesh and bone that gets ripped to shreds, it's not coming back.
Yeah. The flesh of my belly will give way for the bolt in the ground.
That's right.
The bone of my backbone will give way before that.
Yes. They just wanted the meter to come back, the little home meter they had.
All right, but that's next episode. That's on the fast forward.
Yes. So we're back to Elle still walking around Mike's house.
11.
She gets to Nancy's room.
I know.
And Elle looks at the jewelry box. And I wrote down that she almost seems to get emotional. And I don't know. We didn't get a flashback about that. But to me, this was the life I was supposed to have.
Yes, that's exactly it.
I was supposed to be a girl. I was supposed to have the jewelry box. I was supposed to have these clothes. I knew that girl.
Or this is what I could have had.
Yes. And then she sees Barb.
Yeah, really. I don't think she knew this is what I was supposed to have. Like, as in, I knew this ahead of time. Is probably exactly what you mean. For me, it's like, wow, this is what I could have had.
This is what I maybe was supposed to have.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. Yeah. This is how a girl lives. This is how a real girl outside of that lab lives.
Right. Of course, she also sees the first Mission Impossible poster with Tom Cruise. Just kidding.
That would have been bad. I was going to say, I don't remember that.
Well, it was Tom Cruise, though. She saw Tom Cruise. There was a poster of Tom Cruise in the room.
Was it Risky Business?
It wasn't even Risky Business. No, he was a little older than Risky Business.
Okay.
On his poster. Anyway, we get the whole lunch table. Oh, unless there's something else you want to say about this.
Nope. That was it.
Lunch table scene with Nancy just kind of further proves how horrible these guys are. And you know, at this point, I'm trying to give Steve some credit because I feel like he does legitimately care about Nancy more than he probably did at the beginning, but he's not there yet because he's still, you know, like he doesn't defend her, tell them to shut up because it's embarrassing her. He just kind of lets it go. And, you know, so he's not quite there yet.
I completely agree. He is a jerk for 98% of the time. 99%, you think, all right, he's actually going to say something decent. And then he kind of falls back into the jerk thing with the peer pressure and thing. Yeah. But you're right. There is a glimpse of more to Steve than what we're seeing so far.
Yeah.
So, and it's something I didn't really get the first season I watched it because I just thought he was going to be the jerk that gets eaten later.
Yeah, me too. I was incredibly disappointed she didn't end up with Jonathan. You know what I mean?
No, he's got issues. Yeah, but he's got issues.
I know, but still. But they were together in the hallway.
But you saw Speed. You know, when a tragic event happens like that, people don't stay together.
But it's fun while you are together.
So the question I have, though, and I know it is fun. The question I have is, she does kind of recognize Barb, Elle, at the end of that thing, right? Or the camera stops on Barb. She doesn't have a big reaction like she did with Will.
So I don't know why she would have seen Barb. She didn't see Barb.
Well, Barb's in the Upside Down.
But she hasn't been in the Upside Down.
Well, how did she seen Will? She pointed out Will.
Before.
No, she was in the Upside Down and she touched the monster and it opened up the portal. So now, but Will's gone in there since. She's seen Will. How did she see Will in the Upside Down?
Are you sure that she was not in the Upside Down when Will got taken? Are you sure?
No, I'm not.
because I think she was still in the Upside Down whenever Will was taken. And she saw Will, and I think, and I'm probably totally wrong, that she took advantage of the time that the monster was distracted by Will to escape. And the way she escaped was coming through the main portal.
I think when she tapped the monster, the portal opened. The monster was able to escape. She escaped while the monster was out and they were running from it. She escaped through the tunnel. I don't think she's been back in the Upside Down since then. But Will was grabbed after that. What I think is that because she made contact with the monster, she sometimes sees what the monster sees.
Okay.
I think there's a connection there between her and the monster. And we may have talked about this before, and I may have read this somewhere before. I think there's a connection between her and the monster. And when she either has flashbacks or when she goes into a state, she can see what the monster sees.
Right.
Maybe when the monster attacks, she sees that. But she's seen Will's face at some point to know that he's in trouble and he's hiding.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I was trying to see if there was a quick
answer.
The
monster would have seen Will in the shed. Maybe that's where she saw him. You're right. Maybe she was still in the Upside Down when the monster got out and went after Will.
I don't know. See, that there's a thread on Reddit, which I don't really like going to Reddit, and I think it might answer it somewhere in there, but
all right, I'll be reading that when this is over then.
Yeah.
Probably not Reddit, but I think I've read it somewhere else.
I don't know. I don't know, y'all. So
anyway, we don't
get
the reaction like we got with Will when she sees Barb.
Right.
We don't even know if it really reacted at all, I don't think.
I didn't notice a reaction, and I was kind of looking for one. So
yeah, it just showed us Barb in the video stopped, I guess.
So now the boys are looking for the perfect rock, which unfortunately they find, but not the best way to find it.
I think it was found because Dustin did for Mike what Mike did for Dustin.
Yeah.
After Dustin had to flip his arm, then Mike said, that's like a superpower. And then when Mike got embarrassed and tripped, Dustin picked up, look, you found a rock when you fell on your face.
That's right. The perfect rock.
The monster killer. That's right.
That's right. By the way, I had those Puma shoes. Here I am watching the show going, I had those Puma shoes. Did you?
That's why you have to watch it more than once, because you got to be able to pick things out without paying attention to the story.
I know. Of course, they're acting like middle school boys. What are you gonna do? Marry her? If you like her so much, why don't you marry her? Of course, then Justin Bieber wrote a song. If you look like the way you look that much, then maybe you should go and love yourself.
I'm proud to say that I know not one Justin Bieber song.
Really? You're missing out, man. There's some good Justin Bieber songs out there.
Not one. I have plenty of songs to take its place.
Well, I'm gonna send you some good Justin Bieber songs. You're gonna become a Bieber man.
So what I like is that everybody's doing. This is like recess, right? This looks like a recess time.
Oh yeah,
everybody's just out goofing off, throwing a ball, playing around, walking around. These three guys are looking for rocks to save the world.
That's right. Hey,
they're on a mission.
They know how to use their recess.
Yeah, nobody knows what they're doing. Yeah, but they're on a mission to save the world. I think that's so cool.
Hey, I just got to tell you, man, these guys, they are setting us up so we don't mind what 11 does to them later.
Yes.
Because when you go up to somebody whose best friend is missing and you tell them he's dead, your dead friend, and then you make fun of how he probably died, man, that is lower than low.
Speaking of build, this is strike 2 for the bullies. Strike 1 was in the last week.
Yeah.
This is strike 2.
What's strike 3?
Episode 4.
Well, what is it? What is it?
It's the that's right. We can talk about the future.
Yeah, we can talk about whatever we want.
After the end of this episode, when the body is found, the chapter
they go to the top.
They go to the gymnasium.
Oh yeah.
To the gymnasium for the service, and while they're at the service, which is a great scene, the bullies are laughing and mocking. Who cares? Who cares?
Right.
He's nobody.
And they brought 11 with them.
Mouth breathers. She calls them by their name, mouth breathers. And it's after that scene that the floor gets wet. That was strike 3, and Elle happened to be there for that one.
Well, dadgummit.
So
I want to go watch episode 4. Crud. I want to watch it right now.
Well, now I have to watch it again for next week, so it's fresh in my head. Then I got to take notes. So
now, David, some point later in the season, we're going to have to do two episodes at a time, but we'll just figure that out as we go.
See, I didn't know if we might continue it this week, but after episode 3, I'm glad we're not.
Yeah,
because this is going to take 2 hours because we're barely through episode 3, and I apologize for that.
I don't know. So I don't know how we're going to figure it out, but our goal is to have one free week before we do our one preseason show for Survivor.
So at the end of most Survivors or last season, Dwaine used to ask for pearls of wisdom.
Oh, yes, I remember.
Yes, you did. And we're not doing that anymore.
No matter how much you wiggle or how much you dance, the last drop ends up in your pants. Exactly.
Yes. We're not going to do that anymore because I'm never prepared.
Yes, I don't want to do it.
So anyway, but if I was going to give you a pearl of wisdom for this particular episode, I would say if you take creepy pictures of kids around the swimming pool, especially upstairs, don't develop them in a public school where the door is unlocked.
Exactly. Yeah, I had that as lesson number 4,378.
Wow, I thought we were further along than that. That's all.
Well, it's just like, they're voyeuristic pictures. You don't hang them up in your school lab. Because a girl's got to come in there and go, hello, what is going on?
Yes, she does.
All right, 5,000. All right, do you want to go move on?
Yes, because it's time. It's casserole time.
Well, I have another thing to say. Lesson number 4,379. If you have 5,000 lights hanging in your house like a dorm room on steroids, people are going to think you're weird.
Even if they bring you a casserole.
When they bring you the casserole, you're going to be like, why did I step into this house?
That's okay. We're not going to come in. Just put it on 350 for an hour. We're good. See ya.
Yeah. And okay. My first thought was, why do you go to a house with an uncooked casserole? And then I realized, stupid me, I don't bring people casseroles, but it's so they have a reason to talk and sit and talk. See?
That's why I bring cooked casseroles to people and don't stay.
So I don't have to stay and talk.
And why casseroles?
I am an introvert, man.
Because they're pre-made?
Yeah.
But not when we get together, we're not.
Well, no. But but if you tell me to go to someone's house and bring them a casserole, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm going to go to Sam's, buy a casserole, stick it in the oven. And not because I don't care, but just, okay, I sound horrible.
Let me give you another pearl of wisdom.
Yes.
Sam's Club, Stouffer's mac and cheese, the large tray. It just got directions right on the box. You put it in and it works. And you don't have to cook anything. And it's really good. Davis can eat the whole tray. He'll tell you that.
Yeah. I got to text something to somebody. So go ahead.
Well, can I move on from there? Because that scene comes back on. Hopper goes to the library with Pal, the one that has a brain. Mm-hmm. And I got his old flame harassed by the librarian because he never called her back.
Well, maybe we can go next week.
The funny thing is, the look on his face is like, we went out? Oh, yeah. Oh, so next week? And she's like, no. And Pal looks at her like, really? The librarian?
Yeah. You know how in the movie Lost, there were all these unanswered questions?
Yes.
I don't remember if this question gets answered. But librarians typically, when they take their glasses off and let their hair down, look really good. Does this one? We don't know.
We don't know. On the flip side, I think we're getting a lot of answers, but not a lot of questions. When did y'all go out? What happened behind that?
That's right.
So they go through the microfiche. That's
Microfiche.
something that you kids might not know anything about.
Yeah, they know nothing about that.
And physical paper newspapers, something else you kids might not know anything about.
It's really like the computer. It's like the Google.
Yeah,
of our generation. Only it takes 10 hours to find one thing.
That's why they're there for like 3 segments, not just in and out or doing it on their phone.
Yeah.
So they're pulling up these headlines, and I wrote them down. Hawkins lab blocks inquiry. So somebody was trying to look into it. The government was looking. Alleged experiments, abuse.
Yeah.
MK Ultra exposed. There's a little C that's going to come up later.
Yeah.
Dr. Martin Brenner named in lawsuit. There's a familiar name and face because he even said, we learned at the last segment who runs this place now. Well, that would be Dr. Brenner.
Right.
And then finally, Terry Ives suing. They took my daughter. Nothing to Hopper. Hasn't seen the girl. Doesn't know anything about that. So, but yeah, those are some of the headlines they found.
Yeah. And just from my own personal experience in the real world, when you're looking at something and you're looking up something from years in the past, it takes more than a couple hours to find all that good information.
Yes.
And most of it, you don't even know it's good information. And yet they seem to have found it all.
Because it probably wasn't all within the same month.
Oh, no.
The same paper. Yeah. All spread out over a lot of things. There were some more
a lot of pages in those newspapers.
Yeah. And there were some, I mean, you could have paused it and read some of the articles.
Well,
Terry Ives talks about things, but I wasn't going into that because it'll come up later.
But how cool is it that somebody was hired to write those articles? You know? And I guarantee you, whoever's in that person's family paused it and read those articles.
Absolutely. I read those.
And then they'd be like, they edited my material. That's not exactly what I wrote.
I wrote some more bloody words.
Yeah. I wrote something completely different. They edited my material.
I created a whole newspaper and they only showed the headline.
They had me write 4,000 newspapers.
It's a good thing they don't open that newspaper. It's blank on the inside.
Yeah. All right. Back at the house. The
casserole oven's almost ready, but they're talking about the lights. And Joyce covers for it. She covers and says, well, Will loved Christmas and I just want him to be like home. And we're having electrical issues. So we're testing some things with the lights. And
the lights say,
the lights talk to Holly.
Come over here.
Innocent little Holly. Oh, it's a string of lights. And they're going off in a different direction from where I'm sitting. I should get up with the two women sitting right there. And they probably won't even notice that I'm getting up from the table as a child, walking out of the room while the oven's on. Really?
Yeah.
Really. They're so enthralled with each other, especially Joyce, the woman that's going crazy.
Yeah, she doesn't notice them.
The little blonde-haired pigtailed girl going off down the hall to where bad things happen.
Well, so why did Will call her back to his room?
Because he was safe and wanted to talk to somebody.
You're being serious, right?
That's the only thing I can think of. Why else would he lead her back there? Especially her.
Yeah. It's like, well, maybe he wasn't just leading her. Maybe he was trying to lead all of them, but only she came.
Maybe he heard his mom's voice because he couldn't see her. He heard her and Mike's mom and was trying to lead them, but got Holly instead.
And because then when they go in, when the little girl goes in the room, the lights are going crazy. Right. Which is kind of like, see, I am real. I am here. I am here. My mom is not crazy. But then, boom.
Yes.
Monster doesn't like it whenever Will peeks his head up and starts doing stuff. Monster does not like it at all.
It seems to be the biggest attraction for the monster when Will throws all the lights on and flashes everything at one time. That's like the biggest magnet to draw the monster.
Well, it's almost like you're playing. Well, let's get a little more serious. It's almost like you are trying not to get killed in a war. Right. And you're safe as long as you stay in your little bunker. But you got to get to that tree. And the only way you can get to that tree is if you have to expose yourself a little bit to make any progress. Well, that draws their attention. So I think every time Will exposes himself in any little bit, whether it's a little bit of light or a lot, of course, a lot would be more exposure, that the monster sees it and goes. He doesn't know where Will is.
Okay. I'll give you another war analogy. If I'm in a bunker between my crew and the enemy, and my crew has a big gun that we could use to take out the enemy, I want my crew to come to me because I've got the perfect shot from where I'm sitting. So I could pop my head up like a whack-a-mole and say, here, and dive back down. And that's a light. Right. Here, dive back down. That's a light. And the enemy might not see me. But if I wanted to get their quick attention, immediate and guaranteed, I would jump up, wave my arms, and yell, 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 yell to come here. I have their attention, but now I have the enemy's attention. Yeah. So I think one little light at a time, one lamp at a time might not draw the monster's attention. But like you said, at the end of that, when Holly's in the room and he flashes everything, as in like I'm here, because we haven't gotten to the wall scene yet, but when I'm here, but of course that's when the monster makes its
right. So you take that out and you've got the little bitty lights leading back to the room, just a little bit, just like you're saying, beep, beep, and he doesn't know it's just a little girl coming.
Right.
He knows that the mama and the other mama are there. Of course, he also knows, but on the other hand, though, he could still hear him talking in the other room.
Well, not if he was going down the hall. He may have just thought it was somebody.
Well, anyway, point is, he got him into the room, lots and lots of lights, and then they all shut off because the monster figured out where he was. And woo!
And Holly's like,
moment.
Where'd all the lights go? Yes, great poltergeist moment.
Yeah, which I've never seen that movie because I'm scared to death to watch a movie like that.
I've seen it once. Wait a minute. You and Cass ripped me up good for not liking horror movies. Do you like horror movies? Or you just don't like Poltergeist movies?
Poltergeist is a little more than a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's a movie about demons and stuff. I have no desire to get involved in that.
Okay.
So,
I love it because right around the time the monster comes in, here comes Joyce and Nancy and Mike's mom, whose name I still don't know. And they pick up Holly like, oh, and Joyce is more like, you shouldn't be in here. This is Mike's room. This is where I talk to Mike. But the look on Holly's face, and Joyce says, did you see something?
Yeah.
And she says,
yeah. That's
and
the same wall.
Right. Exactly.
Hello.
Exactly. Yes.
And then little girl's mama gets a little worried. No, tell me. You don't understand. Tell me. You don't understand. Yeah.
Yes. And Mike's mom's like, we're going to leave.
Yeah.
And Joyce is like, yes, you need to leave. Because something tells me I should have communicated just now and I missed my chance. So you need to leave.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right.
So then Nancy has the worst phone call you can have with your friend's mom. Have you seen Barb? I didn't see her last night. Oh, I thought she spent the night with you.
Oh yeah.
She did. The cover.
That's cover. Right. I remember telling, her. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, well.
And then Jonathan leaves school and is confronted by Steve and Nicole, who was in the dark room.
Who obviously likes Steve.
Yes. And telling up to Steve. So that whole scene.
Yeah. See, there again, he's still being a jerk. Because like Joshua said, Dad, that's an expensive camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he ruined an expensive camera. And then what does he leave laying all around? The pictures of his girlfriend half naked.
Yes.
He doesn't care about her.
The one he tears up is Barb. The one that could reveal the monster. But that's the one that gets torn because that's the one that Nancy picks up.
We're not supposed to know it reveals the monster. But it does.
You do not see the title of this podcast. But here's what's neat. Unless you got something else at the very end of that scene, the crew is left. Nancy's left and she happens to pick up the exact pieces of Barb's picture that go together, probably because it's the one that got torn.
Yeah.
And she leaves. And as Jonathan's bending down to pick up the pictures, they blow all over the place.
Mm-hmm. So why?
As if you don't need to worry about those pictures. Go get the picture of Barb because that's the one that's going to show you where I am.
Okay, but I'm
totally making that up because it was breezy that day. It was breezy that day.
That sounds awesome, but who would have done that?
Well,
Will rather.
Well, you don't know where Will is. He was at the house, but he ran because a monster showed up.
Okay. By the way,
a while to get to school. I just thought I'd make that up because it sounded really cool. I thought.
Thanks to Monster Zeros, I now say monster correctly. I used to say Munster, and your daughter would joke on me about why are you talking about cheese? So now every once in a while, I'll go, monster. Joshua goes, monster? I said, yeah, monster. He goes, you almost said monster, but then you changed it. Monster. Anyway, 11 is waiting by the fence at 3:05, a little nervous, and she sees a scary cat. That cat does not like her.
And just so we don't get any emails, it's 3:15. It's 3:15.
I thought she said 3:05. I thought she was early, but no, I misheard it.
Nope. If you thought she was early, then you're probably right.
No, I don't know. Maybe
I would have thought she'd have been there right on time.
Okay. Well, the girl didn't know how to tell time anyway. So a lot of good that did.
That's why he said 3:15 when it says 3:15.
But if it said 3:14, it's not 3:15 yet. So I'm still chilling at the house. 3:15. Oh.
So why would she be early?
Exactly. I don't know.
Who knows?
Well, I'm probably wrong.
I think it was 3:15.
Anyway, so this is where they're trying to get her.
She's looking like she's distressed because they're not there. That's why I thought it was 3:15.
It's pretty raunchy to make a little girl kill a kitty cat.
Yes. It's the next level of her powers. It's not an inanimate object like a Coke can. It is a living, breathing thing.
I think they skipped a couple of levels. We got ants. Maybe flowers? You get past. Well, yeah, you get past the flowers, you get to ants, then you get to bees, maybe. Oh, how about little small rodents before you get to a house pet? So, do you think she was starting to use her power when the cat started growling at her, like you're doing something to my head? My head's hurting. You're hurting me, or something. Do you think she was starting to do something? And that's why, because that cat did not, like you said, did not like her. That cat was like, Arr. He was like really growling. Well, I think Oh man, I think she. Wow, just trying to kill that cat's really got me going. I'm just kidding. It's almost like I think I said it earlier. She has the ability to do it, and if she were to unleash it all, she could. But her desire to not kill a cat keeps her from being able to fully do it. But she's trying because she wants to please her papa.
Right.
But at the same time, she's resisting her own effort. So I think, yes, the cat is feeling that you are trying to hurt me. I can feel it, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
That's the way I interpreted the.
And see, after what we've been talking about, I agree with you. It makes me wonder, are there rooms with other kids in them that couldn't kill the cat? What did they do with the other kids if they didn't survive?
I don't think there are. I think she's the lone one.
You think she's the only one left?
Well, just based on the rest of the season, you don't ever see any other ones. You know, they don't like, I don't know, unless they just decided to kill them all so they can concentrate on getting her.
Right.
You know, I don't know. You know, one thing that you can really tell a difference between our personalities. This is like right in line with what we're talking about. Is I'll do stupid stuff like meow and look really stupid on camera, and you just sit there and will not do that, even if you wanted to do it.
No.
And then you just kind of put up with me doing it.
For how many seasons? Movies and shows.
Wow, how funny. You know, this really bugs me. This part really bothers me. On the flashback, of course, she keeps yelling, Papa, Papa, and she's obviously made him mad because she didn't do what she was supposed to do.
Right.
Then she gets so scared and so mad that she kills those two guys, which is like, I mean, just like I said earlier, totally uninhibited. Before, it was inhibited by her love for cats, right? By her love for a little furry animal. So I'm saying start with rats. Who wants a rat? You can kill a rat. But anyway, the only time her papa shows any affection at all or any approval is when she kills those guys or when she succeeds in something. But in reality, David, it's not towards her at all. It's towards her abilities.
Towards the project. Yep.
He has absolutely no emotional connection to her at all. Plenty of emotional connection to her talent, but not to her. But she'll take whatever she can get.
See, while you're saying all that, I'm completely agreeing with you because you're being very exact about that. I think about the two guys she killed in the diner with the forks.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, could she have done that, having escaped the lab, if she hadn't killed those two guys that took her to her room? Could she? Because when she did that to those two guys, it kind of, it's like trying a soda for the first time. Once you've tried it once, it's much easier to drink it the second time.
I think the first guy was the soda. The second guy, or the first guy was the first sip of the soda.
Yeah.
And the second guy was that was good. This isn't as hard as I thought. Give me that kitty back.
Yeah, the first guy got the door. The second guy broke his neck.
And with that, I mean, just like break his neck. Same thing she did with the two guys that were trying. Look, if you're threatening her, she can kill you.
Right.
She's got the ability. But yeah, did she discover it then? Probably so.
Yeah.
It took that tragedy. It took that tragic moment for her to discover it. Yeah. How could anybody not want to listen to this? Everybody in the world who likes Stranger Things ought to enjoy this kind of conversation. Whether I like whoever's talking about it or not, this is good conversation. I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad.
I know. Me too. So
okay. Defense, the boys arrive. She jumps on the bike and they take off to find Will.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the episode. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's not either. Now, why did I write such crass friends, Steve? Oh, they're in the hallway waiting for the ball game. I mean, these are, oh man. And you know what? I'm sure this is normal conversation. It was normal conversation when I was in high school, but poor Nancy, she doesn't want to be around this kind of conversation. And yet she still wants to love Steve because he can change. I can change him.
Exactly. I can make him like me.
I can bring him over to the light side.
But then she makes up a story about being somewhere with her mom and just leaves.
Yeah.
So the boys are walking through the woods with Elle because there's nothing wrong with walking through woods, not when friends are missing.
Well, it is the daytime.
Right. And she notices that Mike got hurt. She asks who did that. He explains to her that they call them mouth breathers.
A little bit more though. Why did they hurt you? And he acts like no one hurt him.
Oh, he says he fell. Yeah.
And then she said, friends don't lie.
Right.
And then he does what you just said. I only bring that up because it's important.
She knew he was lying. Yes. And he explains mouth breather, dumb person, knucklehead. She says she understands. Did she understand the names, or did she understand why they did it or why he lied? I mean, that's her I understand seemed like it covered a lot of things.
Yeah, it probably did.
Yeah, it's more like, oh, I understand what you're saying. It was more like, I understand.
Yeah. Or it may just be whatever you want me to understand. I understand.
Right. Exactly.
And of course, what's Lucas doing back there? He's annoyed that they're even talking to each other. He's so freaking annoyable. Why
is she here? You're getting distracted by talking to her, Mike. We should be looking at the ground, looking for tracks. Yeah. That's right.
Oh, well.
So this is where it really moves on from here. It really starts picking up pace.
As though it wasn't already, but yes.
Well, I know exactly. I got a lot of short notes from here. I've got, unless you got something else there. Nancy goes on a little Nancy Drew mystery and finds Barb's empty car still parked where the brazier was changed. She walked.
Go ahead.
She walks to the pool, calls for Barb.
Before that, though, she calls for Barb around the car. And I'm thinking, really? She's been gone for like 18 hours and you think she's just sitting around in the woods near a car?
It's funny. I pictured Barb walking out of the woods. I've just been sitting out there thinking.
Yeah. Yes. Did you call? Is there something you need? Oh, you finally decided to come out of his house, did you?
I've been waiting for you to get here.
No, to be fair, she could have been hurt and in the woods.
Yes.
So I would have called also.
So she walks to the pool, calls for Barb there.
Mm-hmm.
She hears rustling in the woods and does what every young person should do.
Did she hear the rustling before she went in the woods or after she was in the woods?
I'm sorry. She hears a branch break while she's by the diving pool.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay.
Yes. You hear like a twig break. And then she goes into the woods.
Yeah. Let's go into the woods where I heard the tree crack.
Exactly. Because two people are missing now.
Gosh.
And then then something runs behind her. Now, what we don't get in that scene.
No,
yes.
No, I'm just like, no, I'm scared to death.
So what we don't see is that she actually got to look at it.
No, we saw that. Oh, you mean the first time?
She got a glimpse when it ran behind her. She turned around enough and got a descriptive glimpse. It's going to come up in episode 4.
Okay, because later on in this scene, she absolutely does see it. And it's quite obvious that she sees it. But you're saying before that she saw it? She saw it twice?
Oh, no. I'm just saying that when it ran behind her, which is the only time we saw it near her, she got a glimpse as to what it was.
Right, because she, hold on. She sees and hears the monster. So I thought she hears it first and then she sees it. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I was confused. I thought you meant she saw it twice, but she saw it.
No, but she's looking the other way and we see a dark thing go in front of the camera.
Okay. All right.
And she turns around. So she does get a glimpse. We learn later on.
And then she does the wise thing and run.
Yes. Finally.
Sometimes the wise thing can be a little late.
Yeah. Don't trust noises. Wait till you see something bad, then run.
Yeah. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to run away.
Right.
Or you have to say no a whole bunch of times.
Yes. Oh, I did write that. We learn in the next episode more description of what she saw.
What? Go ahead.
We learn in the next episode that she saw a guy-like figure with no face, but he was not wearing a mask, is what she tells.
Yes.
Jonathan.
Yes.
But it was, and that's the monster. It looks like a human, but it has no face.
Right.
But it wasn't necessarily a mask. It's the flower before it opens.
Yeah.
So. Right.
All right. We got lights again. He's using lights.
Speaking of the monster.
Oh,
Davis has watched all but the last 2 episodes.
Uh-huh.
I said, how were you with the monster, dude? He goes, oh, it looks like the bad guy from Destiny. Destiny is a game. Game controller. And he showed me the monster. And basically the Destiny alien creatures are just like the monster without the petals. Their faces are just as ugly.
Wow.
Yeah. So
what is it with these alien creatures who have faces that just open up?
Yeah.
What is it with that?
Yeah.
Well, tonight is my face episode. So if you have not watched any of our D&D podcasting episodes, this is the one to watch.
You get all kinds of screenshots off this.
Oh my goodness. You could embarrass me to all get out.
Yes, Kathy Transom should watch this.
By the way, see the flag behind me, Seattle Seahawks.
Mm-hmm.
That was given to me by one of our faithful listeners in our Facebook group.
Speaking of football, I picked my fantasy name tonight for my team. I play in my nephew's fantasy league.
Awesome. Did you get what I did there? One of our faithful listeners.
Yes, your faithful listener. Very nice.
Oh, you picked your team.
I picked my fantasy name, the name of my team, not the team itself.
What is it? What is it?
It's called The Hound That Lived.
Oh, wait, it's a whole team, and it's The Hound That Lived. It's a whole team.
But that references two different series.
Oh, well, at least you thought about it before you announced it.
Yes. Exactly. It's not
sometimes when you put two things together, you don't think about the final outcome until you've announced it.
Yes.
All right. Anyway, there's a reason why I don't do fantasy football, because number one, I don't watch a lot of football, but number two, it takes way too much of my time.
Yes, I played last year and did very well in not giving up all of my time, but I still got too involved. But this is a different league I'm playing this year, so
it's like you're in a whole nother league, David.
Yes, I am. Yeah, whole nother league.
All right, let's get to the lights. He's using the lights again.
The dog starts barking of the trail that's being made, and Joyce follows it. She grabs a ball of white lights and sits in a little cupboard.
Oh, this is awesome.
And then
I was so excited during this scene.
Yes. One blink for yes, two blinks for no.
Oh man. Okay, ready? Are you alive?
Blink.
Are you safe?
Blink. Blink.
Ah! Then she gets a wonderful idea. Oh, go ahead.
She says, "Where are you? Tell me what to do." And she doesn't know what to do, so she gets her idea.
Yeah, it makes her look like a complete wacko.
Yep.
There ain't no more walking into the house going, okay, maybe she's just, She wrote an alphabet on her wall and put lights by him. Yep. She's wacko if you don't know the truth. And the truth is she has just created a way for her son to talk to her.
Yes.
So what does he say?
Well, he hadn't said it yet.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because that's later on.
I don't know anything about a Ouija board, but somebody said this was like a Ouija board. I don't know how that's like.
It looks exactly like the layout of a Ouija board. But for me, it reminded me of the I'm sure that was their meaning, that was their intent. For me, it reminded me of the movie of the scientist guy, the botanist who's on Mars and figures out a way for them to be able to communicate by moving the camera towards a letter.
Mission to Mars. Yes.
Yeah. So
let's see. So the next scene while she's painting is this is where we start getting more people involved on the case, because Nancy goes home and breaks down to her mother. And she thinks something terrible has happened to Barb. And that's when her mom's going to say, I am now involved.
Her mom's going to go, who's Barb? Oh, that girl? I
haven't seen her in like 18 hours.
You mean that frumpy girl you've been hanging around with? Have you thought about moving on up in the world? No, I'm sorry. I'm being very bad.
Yes. But anyway, that's that scene. Then here's where I wrote down his name. Hopper and Powell are still in the library because it does take a day to find all this information.
It does, yes.
And they're talking about Terry Ives, and they're talking about LSD mind control. Hopper says Brenner is involved in CIA research from what he's reading. That's what I got. Matching the hospital idea to the gown found in the pipe. He thinks exactly. It could certainly be a gown.
No, he connected the gowns to the gowns.
Yeah, he's saying that little piece that we found could be part of a gown, which comes from that place.
Right. Can saw the picture. Right. Gotcha.
And then we this is to me, this is like the match gets lit. This is like the scene where the match gets lit. Phil gets a call on the radio from Phil. Yeah, Phil calls on the radio to Hopper.
Phil called himself. Awesome.
Yeah, Phil, about something being found. Did he say a body was found or just something was found?
Man, we don't know what he said. All I know is he ran. I think he just said, you need to get here right away or something like that. He's like, nothing was given away.
Like to Benny's again? No, not to Benny's. That was last episode. So.
Weekend at Benny's.
Yes.
Not a good time to be there.
And in a move of complete honesty, Elle takes the boys to Will's house.
Yes.
And just says hiding.
Well, yes.
Yeah. They're like, what are we doing here? We're looking for Will. Hiding.
Yeah, and then they don't even give her a chance. I mean, Dustin, and now granted, am I saying that right? Is it granted or what?
Granted.
Granted?
Granted with a D. Yes.
Granted. Okay. So granted, because my wife always corrects me and I still don't know what she's saying. So I don't know how I'm doing it wrong. Anyway, we've been married 26 years and I still don't know what she means whenever I say it. And she says, Anyway, granted, the police came driving by really fast. So they didn't have a whole lot of time to unreact from their reactions to give her a chance. But she was just standing there in total awe. Like, well, obviously, I'm going to learn from this that when I tell them the truth, they're not going to believe me. Anyway.
Right. I'm being honest. Friends don't lie. I'm doing what I said friends are supposed to do. And you're right. They don't get a chance to react. And we don't get a chance from her because of the police cars.
Yeah. Which obviously, as I would do in their situation, and I'm not being facetious, I'd follow the police. My best friend's missing.
At a time like this, you want to know wherever this is going on.
And my bike riding skills are so good, I can keep up with police.
Well, I know shortcuts through woods where children have been taken. So I'm going to take those shortcuts and go find out what's going on.
While there's a maniac killing kids, I'm going to take those shortcuts at night.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, well.
And they all say, Will, as in they know what they're going towards. Yeah. So now we get to what I consider the best scene of the entire season.
Oh my gosh.
This scene at the end of it, I went back and watched it again. And then I went back and watched it one more time. This was during my first watch because it gave me chills. It gave me chills yesterday when I watched it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And it's, to me, it's Winona Ryder obviously at her best, but it's so written so well because they could have had the longest conversation. But it was like that's not the point. The point is, and it was. I get chills right now just thinking about it.
Oh man!
And after this scene, I was like, this show could be incredible.
Yeah,
this was so good. This one scene was so good.
Oh my!
And like I said, Phil threw the match on it with the body being found, and this is gasoline on the fire.
Yeah. Well, now this was before the body got found.
Correct, but I mean the body.
Afterwards he throws the match on it, right?
The body, and then. Now the gasoline's being poured.
Sorry, I was a little slow on that one. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Right here. Right. It reminds me of that old movie. I guess it was 80s, where the person keeps calling on the phone and the do you know where your children are or whatever? And then the police finally call, we've traced it. It's coming from inside your house. I don't know, it kind of had that same feel to me.
Yeah.
Because that was shocking,
Yeah.
And him saying right here is shocking to me.
Yeah.
And then the run. Oh my gosh.
Well, the right here was good in the sense that it almost took away some of her doubt. If she had any inkling, like you said, of doubt that she was crazy, I knew you're right here. I just knew it because we've been talking. And then she goes, she's like 5 questions. What should I do? Tell me what to do. How do I get to you? What should I do? I'm like, Mom, slow down.
Right.
It's a long alphabet. And Will says, you know what? Here's what you should do right now.
Right. But see, I don't think, okay, you notice he did right here slowly.
Yes.
Right? Because the monster didn't come till after he did that. Then the monster's on its way.
Right.
Then Will starts to get frantic and he writes run very quickly.
And we don't have any indication that Will knows the monster can break the plane and come to the right side up.
No, because Will's already hidden again.
He's hidden, but why is he telling her to run if she's in the right side up and he's in the upside down?
I guess he does know then.
Well, he does know that the monster can break a portal and come through a portal.
Yeah.
Will's dragged back into a portal.
Yeah. There's no reason for us to believe that Will wouldn't know that just because they haven't blatantly said it. So
that just hit me.
Telling her to run then. And man, that monster was coming through the wall tonight. And I was going, oh my gosh, yes. Oh, Connie, you gotta watch this show. This is so good. She goes, I'm not watching that show. I am not watching that show.
Now, here's a test for you. See if you're paying attention.
All right, here we go.
What happened when it's never happened before when the monster appeared and came through the wall?
I didn't know there was cheese in this show.
Wow. You were so paying attention. Because
you said monster. No, you said monster. I joked on you saying monster instead of monster. Okay, say it again.
Look like I'm joking. Okay, so what happened that's never happened before when the monster came through the wall.
He broke through, and we got to see those ET fingers on the wall. It's like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I got
100.
That's not
the answer. No, that's not it.
But that's true.
I mean, you are absolutely correct. He came through. Did he like make a portal? That's an interesting question. He made a new portal.
I don't know, but he made it. Well, I guess so.
But what happened when the monster came through where the lights were still flashing? The lights were still going off when he broke through.
That means he surprised Will. He surprised Will, so Will didn't have a chance to go.
Could Will have been right there? Yeah.
Yeah. Will was still there.
Like got behind one wall. Did he hide somewhere in his room? Yeah. You know, so I was like, wow, the lights are still going off. Or did the Duffer Brothers say, we need more light on this scene? Let's keep the lights on.
No. I got it, David. I got it. Ready? All right. Here we go. Will's there talking to his mama. Where are you? I'm right here, mama. I'm right here. And then all of a sudden, Will's been paying so much attention to his mama, he hasn't paid attention to the monster coming up. And then he sees the monster and he goes, run. By that time, the monster's already there. So Will hasn't had a chance to go anywhere. But the monster, instead of going after Will, who's right there, breaks the plane and goes after mama. So Will has a chance to get away.
Right. He's distracted.
Boom.
So the monster appearing doesn't make the lights go out. It's Will running away.
That's right.
Makes the lights go out.
That's right. That's what we both agreed to a long time ago. Yes. We are reiterating that point to y'all.
I thought it was really neat that this particular time when the monster shows up, the lights don't go out because Will hasn't gotten away.
That's right.
But you made a great point, and that I didn't add to mine was that he was distracted by mom, so he was going after Joyce.
Yeah,
man, this thing can jump through. He can make portals.
Man,
because the next episode, that's not a portal. That's a wall.
But he's tried twice, and this is the third time he makes it. I don't know because because the first time he was closer than the second time. So
yeah,
I don't know.
The second time it's almost like he got scared of Joyce when Joyce showed up. He backed out of the wall.
Oh yeah, because he was going after the little kid.
Yes,
and Joyce showed up. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's kind of hard to
still
hurting mama.
To go from right here to run to the monster coming through the wall was probably, to me, still the best scene of this whole series.
Oh man,
so
the whole series.
I think so.
Scenes coming up.
I think so. No, the run was enough for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, run. Hey, you know what? It's hard to compete against that. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. So kids chasing the cops to the water, and look, a little rubber body was found.
Yes, even the chief believes it.
Yeah. Well, it looks awfully real. They did a good job.
They did.
Which
makes you wonder how they were able to, unless they went off pictures, how were they able to duplicate the body? Have they seen it in the upside down? No, I'm just kidding. I'm sure there's
pictures of him all over the town.
Yes.
And they knew what he was wearing. Yeah. Doing a little conspiracy theory thing going on here. Is that it? One that we've both debunked right now.
So they all doubt that it's Will until they see the body pulled up. They get a glimpse of it and realize it is him.
But don't you think the Duffer Brothers put that in there? It's not Will. It can't be, knowing that it wasn't Will. I mean, obviously they did that knowing it wasn't Will, but do you think they put that in there on purpose, or do you think it was just natural? It can't be Will.
No, I think that was natural, because if 11 had said it, that would have been on purpose.
Well, yeah.
But Mike said it. Yeah. I wrote down, it's not Will. It can't be. That was Mike. And Lucas says, it's Will. It's really Will.
Yeah.
If 11 had said it, that would have been.
And how crazy is it that all the roles are reversed now? So now Mike is the one that's being terrible to 11, and Lucas, and of course Dustin, he doesn't really have anywhere to go as far as the opposite direction other than Sirius,
Mm-hmm.
But Lucas goes from, he's always been upset with even the idea of 11, but now he sees how Mike handled it, and he's like, oh, come on, Mike, So Lucas here shows the side of Lucas that I know is there, and that I appreciate about him, because he's not just some annoying negative kid. He's not. Yeah. He wants to save his buddy, but he sees Mike acting like that, and he recognizes bad behavior.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good scene.
It's interesting to look back now. This is what I like about going back and knowing things ahead of time, that once Elle learns about truth and how important it is, she has two moments of being truthful. Of one, she wants to help them find Will, and two, she takes them to Will's house where Will is. She's been very honest those two times. And right after the fake body is found, she looks dumbfounded. She looks like, I don't understand what this is, because that's not, I don't think that's him. That can't be him. And Mike turns on her immediately and goes off as in, you were supposed to help us find him. We were friends. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to tell the truth, all this kind of stuff. And it's really sad, but she's been telling the truth. Right. Once she realized how important it was to have friends and that friends don't lie, she's told the truth. Now she's going to lie here in the next couple episodes when something big happens. When she misdirects him to not go to the actual gate. Yeah. But I mean, that's her big lie. But at the same time, it's kind of like a kid that found out, how to throw a baseball. He's going to throw it right as much as he can, because that's what you're supposed to do. And she found out the power of truth and the power of friends. She wants these friends. Right. She's been telling the truth. They don't understand how straightforward, how no nonsense she is, because they don't know anything about her. Obviously, they don't know what she's been through.
But I like what you have to say there about, at this moment, she's conflicted, because in her mind and her heart, she knows where Will is.
Right.
And yet there's Will. I don't think she knows at that point that's not Will. I think she's truly conflicted. How can that be Will? I know where Will is, but there's Will. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, she's conflicted as in what's real or what's not real.
Right, because I know that I'm seeing what I'm seeing, but that doesn't make sense with what I know.
And that relates in the next episode with Joyce. She knows what she knows, but there's a body laying there that looks like her son.
Exactly.
So that's good conflict.
Yeah, comes very good. I love how this episode ends. Now, if you have anything else to say, now's the time to say it.
Just the last three lines were Joyce running down the street and runs in front of Jonathan's car. I love that Mike goes home and cries in his mom's arms, and then Jonathan's with his mom, with Joyce at the end.
We get both of those boom, boom, boom again.
Yes.
Though not as fast. Jonathan and mom hugging. Mike and mom hugging.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan and mom hugging again. Just showing how these two sons and their moms, even though, Jonathan's mom's been acting crazy and Jonathan has been worried about her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But there's such a strong connection there. And then Mike, who's been annoyed by his mom,
right?
Who, he's a typical 10, 11-year-old. We've all been through this stage. Yeah, you're my mom. But he's also still 10 or 11. But you know what? Even if he was 18 or 20, it'd still be the same thing. Mm-hmm. He just had tragedy. Who does he go to? His mom. Oh. Hugs on his mom. But the words of the song at the end of the show, the shame is on the other side, and we can be heroes just for one day. The end.
What? This is why we couldn't do episode 4 tonight.
I know.
This is incredible.
45 minutes, and it was worth every second. What an ending! And if you weren't paying attention, or if you didn't rewind and turn on closed captioning, you wouldn't have caught that. But there's a reason why they put these songs in these movies. You got to pay attention to them.
Especially this movie. They don't put anything. It's like you said an hour ago. If the camera shows it, it's for a reason.
Yeah. But we talk. I mean, people, do you get what's happening here? The whole movie is about this upside down world, the other side. And this song says it. The shame is on the other side. And it talks about how they're going to be heroes. I love it.
It's neat because this episode ends like a series should end. The body's found. The families are hugging back together. It should all peacefully come. Oh, no, wait. It's only 3 episodes and we've got 5 more to go.
All right. It's a little different. There's not the, we're all happy back together love hugging.
Yes.
It's a little more, we got so much stress in our lives type of hugging. But still, yes, I definitely see your point.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about next episode.
Oh, man, me neither. So I'm going to Texas tomorrow. Mm-hmm. This show will be released on Saturday.
Okay.
So, of course, our patrons get it right away if they well, I'll let them know that it's out, and they'll download it and listen to it or watch it. So that is the advantage of being a patron. You get all our shows early, even our Survivor Talk with D&D shows, which are going to be coming up here pretty soon, David. Let's see.
September.
Right. So we're on episode 3, and we have to double up one episode. So you got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 5 weeks till our next Survivor Talk with D&D episode, because we have a week off between them. And
so we think.
Yeah. And we're going to tell you more about that as we get closer to it. But anyway, thank you for hanging around, everybody. Thank you, David, for hanging around.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Was it two? How long did this last?
Hour and 45 minutes.
For one episode. Well, it was my favorite episode.
You know what though? Somebody put on one of our and it was a positive review. I think it was a 4 or 5 star review on our Survivor Talk episode, on our Survivor Talk podcast. And they said sometimes they go too long, but they're a lot of fun. And I thought, I love podcasts where I know I have another 45 minutes left if I'm enjoying it. So maybe he didn't enjoy it quite as much.
If they're talking on a good topic and I see I've got 7 minutes, I'm sad.
I'm so disappointed.
Yes.
So for me, a long podcast that you enjoy, bring it on. You know, if you get an hour and a half in it and you're like, okay, well then that's fine. We're not everybody's cup of tea, but man, I love these long episodes. I love them. So anyway, I don't care that we go long, and most people don't. Most people really don't because they enjoy.
I'm sure you don't, because you don't get up till like lunchtime and you're
not. But I also stay up a long time afterwards. Although, you know, I've started doing is I started prepping. I've started getting the website ready. I've started getting Libsyn ready. Not Libsyn Tea, but Liberated Syndication is where all of our podcasts come from and all that kind of stuff, or where I've hosted them, all that kind of stuff. So, but anyway, as we said a minute ago, patrons get our shows a little earlier. And in fact, right now, I'm sure y'all are thrilled to get these, but we do have Rewind Fast Forward t-shirts and hoodies and stickers because I wanted them. So I made them. But if you want them too, you can go to our website and scroll down and you'll see a logo in the middle that has t-shirts on it. It won't show the Rewind Fast Forward on there, but it's on there. And if you're a patron, depending on what level of patronage you give, you get a certain discount. So David, if you're going to buy a shirt, let me know and I'll give you the link to the discount.
And if you get one now, while we're still young with this podcast, it'll probably cost the same next year.
Yeah, it'll be worth less than you paid for it. Oh, man. You know what drives me nuts? I buy a foot massager for $250 2 years ago. You put it on Facebook to sell? Man, I'll give you $50 for it. Really? Seriously, you can't buy them now for less than $200.
Depreciates the moment you drive it off the lot.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of depreciation.
Yeah. But anyway, if you want to become a D&D patron, you can. SurvivorTalkWithD&D.com or STWDD.com/patron. By the way, if you want to show people where to get to this show, you want to say, hey, I've been listening to this new show. It's called Rewind Fast Forward with D&D. Just send them to REWFF.com because you are guaranteed a good time at REWFF.com. Well, it may not be guaranteed. We're not going to give you money if you're not, but still. Anyway, and I don't know if you know this, David. There are still people who shop using our Amazon link.
I don't, because I don't get those emails, but you do, so that's cool.
Yeah, we get a couple dollars every month from it, so that's pretty cool. All you got to do, y'all, is just shop Amazon, use our link. Easiest way to do that? Well, the easiest way is to set up a shortcut on your desktop. That's the easiest way. Because I'm like everybody else. If I want to go to Amazon, I get on my Google browser and I type in Amazon. I don't bother to go to someone's link. So the fact that anybody does that, David, really is, they're making an effort to do that.
Well, hopefully my mom's still doing it because I've had to save the link like 12 times on her desktop.
Yeah. Well, that's the easiest way. Once you get there using that, then right click and save to desktop or whatever. And that's your link from now on for Amazon. But yeah, you're right. Most people are already in the browser. So my point is the fact that we still get a percentage from that says a lot about the people who do it. They are making a point to do it. So I can't tell you how much we appreciate that. That is really cool. So, all right. So I don't think you have anything else, do you, Dave?
I'm done.
All right. So join us always on our fun Facebook group, stwdd.com/Facebook. It's kind of slow right now. because it's mainly a Survivor Facebook group. But we do have a lot of fun, and you can join it. All right. That's all, everybody. You done, David?
That's it.
Yes, you already said you were done. Sorry. Bye, everybody.
See you.